At the family reunion, my sister said loudly, "Maybe your husband cheats on you because you're boring." Everyone laughed. I simply smiled and handed her the document she never expected, the one that showed who her own fiancé was messaging every night. As I parked the car in the Costco lot, I thought today would be like any other day. Toilet paper in bulk, cereal for the kids, and the same chicken I turn into 3 different meals. That was how life moved along. Complete on the outside. Calculated on the inside. The family reunion was in the backyard of my sister's in-laws' house. White plastic chairs lined the grass, burgers hissed on the grill, and music played just loud enough to keep things cheerful while muffling real conversations. I smiled and greeted everyone the way I always did. Someone asked about my husband. Someone else asked about the kids' school. I gave the same answer every time, fine. I already knew how the afternoon would go. Neighborhood gossip would float from group to group. Someone would mention who switched sides during the last PTA vote. Someone else would whisper about which casserole at the church potluck had clearly come from a store, not a kitchen. Everything followed a familiar rhythm. Comfortable. Predictable. Then my sister walked over, laughing as she always did. She spoke with a laugh, as if every sentence were a game she couldn't lose. She tilted her head slightly, a red Solo cup in her hand, the sun catching the highlights in her hair. "Maybe your husband cheats on you because you're boring." Her voice was loud. Loud enough to reach the far end of the lawn. For a second there was silence. Then came laughter. The easy kind. The kind that spills out quickly when it lands on someone else. I didn't laugh. I didn't even blink. I knew why she said it. She believed silence was weakness. She believed that a woman who didn't respond had already lost. What she didn't know was how much I had seen over the last 2 years, and how carefully I had kept track of it. The nights when my husband spoke with his phone turned face down. The quiet in the kitchen that never appeared in our Facebook photos. I hadn't raised my voice. I hadn't accused him. I had taken my time. I remembered dates. I remembered patterns. I looked at my sister again. Then at her fiancé. He was laughing with everyone else, relaxed and careless, as if there were no secrets attached to him. As if he didn't spend his nights messaging someone under a different name. As if his thumbs weren't recognizable to another woman. I reached into my bag. It was a plain folder. No label. Just papers. I smiled and handed it to her. "Take a look." At first she thought it was a joke. Then she opened it. The first page held screenshots. Names, not numbers. Times. Late night hours. Every night. The second page showed messages he deleted during the day. The third held photos he had sent while calling the other woman just a friend. Her laughter stopped. The yard was still loud, but everything went quiet for her. Her fiancé took a step forward, then froze, like the ground had disappeared beneath him. I didn't say a word. Someone nearby asked, "Is everything okay?" I nodded. Yes. I walked toward the house. Inside, the kitchen looked exactly the same as it always had. The same table. The same placemats. I filled a glass with water. My hands didn't shake. I had known this moment would come. My husband found me there. His voice was low. "Can we talk?" "Not right now," I said. "We have guests." He understood. Or maybe, for the first time, he was starting to. As evening settled in, people began to leave. Some came up to me to apologize. Others avoided my eyes. My sister had locked herself in a bedroom. Her fiancé stood in the driveway, talking urgently on his phone, his face drained of the confidence he'd worn that morning. I buckled the kids into the car. Checked their seat belts. Routine steadied me. It always had. When we got home, I closed the door and turned on the kitchen light. My husband pulled out a chair, then couldn't bring himself to sit. "I know," I said. "I've known for a while." He started to speak, then stopped. Excuses and apologies all sound the same once you've heard enough of them. I raised a hand and cut him off. "I'm not angry," I said. "I'm clear." I placed the same folder on the table, this time in front of him. Inside were my own documents too. Bank statements. A lawyer's card. The plan I had built quietly over months. There was no shouting. No broken dishes. Just facts. Over the next week, things shifted in small but unmistakable ways. I attended the PTA meeting, but this time I spoke. I brought my own casserole to the church potluck and set it down without apology. Neighborhood gossip changed tone. People still whispered my name, but now there was respect woven into it. My sister sent me a message. One line. An apology. I replied just as briefly, "Take care of yourself." I got a new Costco card. In my own name. I changed the silence in my kitchen. There wasn't music, but there was air. Space to breathe. Some things ended. Some things began. I hadn't reacted. I had kept accounts. And in the end, I had taken myself back.